much. What's the matter with you? All I said was a little too much sauce. It's no big deal, really.
What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. So, it is always fascinating for me to go over a video topic that I might be wrong about. And what I mean is, the topic that we're going to go over, should the Falcons draft a corner, I might have been wrong about how big of a need corner is for the Falcons. When I made a video not long ago going over the Falcons' biggest needs heading into the 2023 offseason, I said that the four biggest needs was pass rush, receiver, quarterback, and safety. And, you know, in the intro to that video, I did say that corner was a need, but I didn't say that it was one of the top four biggest needs. Mainly because I still believe in Casey Hayward. I think that he actually can still play, and he might not be prime Casey Hayward, but I think he can still make a little bit of an impact for us. And I also just want to give him another chance because we didn't truly get to see what he was like last year. He only played for 2 games last year and played well for at least one of those games. And so, I don't know, I would just kind of like to give Casey Hayward a bit of another chance. And for what it's worth, it does seem like he likes to play for the Falcons a little bit, right? I think he wants to recruit in some great players on this team. Why do you think he was at that dinner with Jesse Bates, Kyle Pitts, and AJ Terrell? All of them were superstars. Casey Hayward is trying to recruit in some players. And then when he joined the Falcons, he said something on the lines of like, why can't the Falcons compete this year? Or something like that. So I guess he was like excited. So I'm a little higher on Casey Hayward than most people. However, I also will admit that, do I think that Casey Hayward long-term is the answer at corner? Probably not. You never know, but probably not. And I'm also not going to act like realistically he's going to stay healthy for a whole season. And I'm not trying to disrespect Casey Hayward. I mean, I literally am saying that I'm higher on him than most people, but I also don't think that he's a player that you can really count on to stay healthy the whole way through, as much as I like Casey Hayward. So that is why I think I'm willing to admit that corner is a bigger need than I have been thinking it was. And so while I personally, if I was the GM, I still personally would go for pass rush in the first round. But if it was not pass rush, I'd go for corner. And I guess that does answer the question right away on if the Falcons, should they draft a corner? My answer is if corner doesn't get addressed somehow in free agency, and if we just can't get a pass rush at all in the first round, then sure, I would go corner. Because for one thing, it is a need. Casey Hayward, like I said, probably is not a long-term answer. And, he's probably not going to stay healthy for this year either. And also, not even just Casey Hayward, Isaiah Oliver has been getting better, to his credit, but how good about him are you feeling long-term? Probably not so good. So, other than AJ Terrell, you like the corners we have, but you're not feeling super about it. And so, therefore, corner is probably a need. And the second thing is, the Falcons usually are pretty good with getting corners. Now, I know the examples I'm about to give out have been years ago, but I think it still somewhat hits today. For what it's worth, Deion Sanders did work out for the Falcons, and Desmond Trufant worked out for the Falcons, in his early years as a Falcon. AJ Terrell worked out as a corner for the Falcons. So, what I'm basically saying is Falcons usually do pretty well when getting a corner, usually. Isaiah Oliver, I guess worked out. I don't know. Robert Alford, was kind of ish okay for us, I guess. I don't know, like Falcons usually seem to do okay at corner. Another reason we could get a corner is because we're actually seeing a lot of corners nowadays do pretty well for NFL teams. Now, not all the time, obviously, but it does seem like most top, corner prospects have done fairly well. Like, look at Sauce Gardner. He did pretty well in his first year as a Jet. Patrick Surtain is doing some good things for the Broncos. AJ Terrell for the Falcons. Jalen Ramsey, when he first came into the league, he did very well. It looks like a lot of top corner prospects are usually doing pretty good when they get into the league. Not all the time, but, looks like a lot of great corner prospects coming into the draft usually do pretty well. So, in other words, it looks like, the NFL, I don't know if this is like reason number 4 or anything, but it looks like NFL drafts nowadays always have a pretty good corner prospect coming out. Because NFL players and coaches know that corner is one of the bigger needs in the NFL. So, coaches and players work their butts off to make these corner prospects very well. Corner, it seems like every single year there's a pretty good corner prospect coming out, usually. In the 2020 draft, everyone was hyping up Jeff Okudah and AJ Terrell, even Trevon Diggs. All of those players, I think, have done pretty well in the NFL. And then, last year in 2022, Sauce Gardner and, who was the other corner that was, Derek Stingley. I'm not, maybe I need to check back, but I think he did all right. I know Sauce Gardner did fine. And there's some pretty good corner prospects coming out for this year's draft, and they're probably going to do fine. So in other words, it seems like every single year there's a pretty good corner prospect coming out. So Falcons could possibly hit on another great corner is what I'm trying to say. And then the last reason here is because Casey Hayward and even AJ Terrell could be pretty good, coaches for whoever we get. Now, who would we get if we had to go corner? I don't really know. But Casey Hayward could be an amazing veteran to coach up this guy. AJ Terrell is not a veteran in the NFL, but man, you could learn some things from AJ Terrell. I guess reason number 5 is you would have another young guy alongside AJ Terrell long term. And if he is as good as advertised, then there you go. You have maybe the best corner duo in the league long term. AJ Terrell and whoever we get, if he lives up to the hype, that's a scary corner duo. And with all that being said, I think corner is a bigger need than I've been saying it is, but I still would try and go for pass rush. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you guys with a video this Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate y'all for the support, and as always, rise up.